I'm Andrew Kohenka, and this is Can You Colloquy? I'm here with Sonic Halls.
Hey,
What's up?
what's up? I'm going all right. How are you?
I'm going all right too. May we have your full official name, middle and everything?
My full official name is Marco Antonio Estorino. I was born November 8th, 2001 in Miami.
Nice. Miami. Okay. Florida native then.
Yeah, but I actually grew up most of my life in Georgia, which is kind of funny.
Oh, so you born in Miami, move up to Georgia. You
Yeah.
spent most of your time there, or?
I so I moved to Georgia when I was like 3, a little bit after my younger brother was born. And then around the time I started high school, I moved, around here, Winter Park area.
Nice. So you've been here ever since then, huh? Winter Park? Or you've been moving around, bouncing?
No, I've been, a couple different places because we had to have an apartment the first year, but
Yeah. Cool. So you're fresh out of high school then? I did the math while you were talking.
yeah. So I'm in my first, or I guess second semester now of college.
Nice. How's it going in the COVID times? Was it everything you hoped and dreamed it would be, college?
Well, I don't think anything's as you would hope and dream in COVID times, but, uh,
True. Very true.
but it's going okay. The classes aren't too hard or anything, so going all right overall. Music theory classes,
Very cool. What are you going for, by the way?
music production, sound and music technology. Yeah,
You going to Valencia or?
yeah, Valencia.
Very cool. Yeah, the sound production program is really nice. They just built that whole building a few years back, and it's got some top of the line gear in it.
Yeah,
So
I'm excited to hopefully get in there. Hopefully next couple semesters I can actually go in and see everything.
yeah, it's been pretty rough. It's been like mainly mixed mode. Wrapping up, my last couple semesters, which is cool. But I'm waiting to take some of the bigger classes, like you said, when all this stuff opens back up, because I'm not trying to take a music production course via the interwebs. So,
Yeah,
right?
I've already done it through YouTube for the past 10 years, so we're we're like recording revolution and GarageBand and beyond. That's my teachers.
Dope. So, music production. I noticed you do a lot of your own stuff. 10 years you've been recording them, roughly? Ballpark?
I've been figuring it out since then. I would say the first I started properly trying to record things probably around the time I was like 12 or 13. So like I don't know, 8 years, 7 years now.
Nice.
And like I said, started on GarageBand and now I work at a Logic. I produce all my own stuff.
Upgrade. Logic. GarageBand or Logic? Which one?
Well, I started on GarageBand, but I especially now they're so close in interface that like I see no issue if someone works out of GarageBand or anything. For me, Logic just has a few things that, especially for the style of music I make, kind of made it more intuitive for me to use. And it kind of has all the, you know, things that you would usually pay the price of Logic for separately. It kind of has in its own interface, which is kind of good. So like, really good drum samples, usable amp simulations, things like, Melodyne and stuff like that. So
How long were you using GarageBand for? Does it hold like a special place in your heart, or?
oh yeah. I really only I use GarageBand for most of my music career so far. Like I only switched to Logic a couple years ago, when I was like 16.
And like you said, it was pretty much like a snap to pick up.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Obviously there's some things and I'm still learning about it all the time, but the interface is because I at one point I was in Logic 9, but switching from GarageBand 10 to Logic 10 is like, it's visually the exact same interface.
Yeah.
So it makes it very intuitive to figure out what I'm doing.
Yeah, I started on GarageBand myself a few years back. Moved up, got a ripped copy of Logic, learned on that for like about a year or two. Then I went legit, got some Pro Tools. Hate Pro Tools, by the way. Absolutely hate Pro Tools. Just want to go on record. It's cool, and I know it's wicked, and I give it a hard time, but Pro Tools is cool. But I hate it. It's a love-hate thing.
I see it as Pro Tools is for engineers, Logic's for musicians trying to be engineers,
Right?
which is, I guess, where I fall.
That's a great way of looking at it, yeah. It's just so intuitive. Like, everything is just so plug and play, and, like, it just makes things easy. Like, it feels easy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still working vanilla, or you always on those plugin sales? You always checking those out?
This past year, I got into the third party game.
Yeah,
I got some of the Isotope stuff, which was really nice. Like, I use Ozone for my mastering now, which is really good. As well as some of the Neutron stuff. And just recently, I'm on a trial of it, and I think I'm going to purchase it. But for guitars, the STL Tone Hub is sick.
I just saw you post about it earlier. So.
Right, yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I got some of the producer packs. Like, I'm a John Feldman, Zach Cervini fanboy, and it has like some of the tones from the Blink 182 records, All Time Low records and stuff. So it's like really sick, and it sounds really good.
So, you've always been doing your own production. Have you collabed with anyone? Have you ever recorded at a studio, or taken it out of the bedroom?
Once. Well, collaborations I can get into in a sec, but as far as my own projects, I recorded at a more not my house studio once. I was at a community jam session at Goldenrod, and essentially I was playing some songs, and this guy was like, "Hey, you want like 2 hours free at my buddy's studio?" It's like, "I'll give you this." And it was like this hip hop producer, which is cool. And I honestly, nowadays, I think doing the type of music I knew now would probably make more sense. By the time, the song was like this acoustic singer-songwriter-y song. So it, I got a recording out of it, and it sounded all right. But I never ended up releasing it because it wasn't quite what I needed and stuff.
Did you find that process to be a bit more relaxed, taking a step back from like the producer's role, like the engineer's role, like having to have all of those headaches constantly bouncing around while you're trying to record and create?
Yeah, absolutely. It also opens up a certain amount of collaboration, of like agreement, because like I did an interview recently where the person who's interviewing me asked me about my creative process, and one of the things, as the person that does the production and stuff, I'm really perfectionist about it. So this one like bell sound that no one will probably even hear in a song, I spend like 2 hours trying to get that bell sound without the weird overtone that's annoying me. So when, in a situation where someone else is kind of forming those sounds and you're just kind of saying how you want them to lay out, it takes off a certain amount of stress, which is cool.
Yeah, I've the home recording thing it seems lax, right? Like I'm gonna do everything myself at my own pace, and then you boot up Logic or Pro Tools or whatever it is, and you start messing up.
Yeah.
And you start getting headaches.
Yeah.
So I've recording in a studio, I've done that once or twice with my band, and it's completely different experience. I kind of prefer it, but there's something about the production that's
you want to be
like
in control, man. Yeah.
It's don't like to lose control, I guess.
Yeah, you have to have the ability to do, though. Like, I've been trying to convince some friends of mine who have the gear to do it and are starting to mess with it. Like a band I know, his drummer has started posting drum covers, so he got all the mic set up and everything in the 8-channel interface. I'm like, you can do recording yourself now. So I think you guys should try it out. And I told them about some of the stuff I was working with, like I just said to you.
Did they take you up on your advice there, or did they just let the interface kind of sit there?
Well, like I said, the drummer is doing loads of social media content.
Yeah.
But currently they're working with a producer for their album and stuff. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Who
And
are these
to
guys?
be fair,
Shout
their
'em out.
producer is sick. Yeah, not. I should shout him out.
Not
I didn't want
as
to
in
call them
K?
out.
Or
No, not as in N-O-T. I guess technically it's the Roman numeral 4 O-T. It always confuses me a little bit. But yeah, local guys. I used to be. Do you know who Not is?
no, I haven't seen him around.
Okay, so they're like a punk band and stuff. I went to high school with their singer, and we actually had a band together for a little bit. Guy named David, love him, and
Shout out to Dad.
shout out to David. And yeah, the band broke up, and he formed this new band and stuff. So, and they sound really good. They released a couple singles. Ignorance, I'll promo them. So yeah.
Always gotta share some blood in the scene. It's all about sharing. Sharing is caring.
Shout out the
right?
homies.
Shout out the homies.
homies.
To whoever listens to this, you gotta check out all these homies. We're shouting out a lot of homies. You got any more homies to shout out?
Well, the other guy in that band I was in, False, or Travis is his name, but False, check him out. He's a cool guy. I talked to him yesterday, and he's also living life. Dang. Ashley Picanza. And, there's loads of Florida artists. I'm trying to get more invested in the scene as a whole. Chelsea Garden.
Yeah, it's hard, especially now during the COVID times. I wish we could just pop in at shows and say what's up to people, but it's starting to open back up. Have you seen it? Shows.
Yeah, I saw with Montgomery Drive and stuff, because I follow them. They're starting to book shows again.
Yeah. Exciting, right?
Yeah. And speaking of that, I'll shout this out. Austin's Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure if anyone else you've talked to so far on this has mentioned it, but
It's brutal.
yeah, that was shortly before lockdown happened, like literally 2 weeks before. That was my first show as, I guess, Sonic Halls. Technically, I was Halls at the time.
With a Z.
With a Z.
With a Z.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Made it so much harder to find me for anyone. But yeah, and I botched the show. Like only 2 people came or whatever, and I was nervous or whatever. But it's such an important. It feels like such an important step for like this local scene. It's like that, since it's so accessible. I just emailed the guy and say, "Hey, can I play a show?" And he's like, "Yeah, you have this show." And since it's so accessible, but at the same time feels very invested in the community. It's an important stepping stone, I think, and I think it would be really sad to lose it. Yeah, and it's like
honestly, they
too.
support like artists of all mediums. I mean, music, art, like like visual media stuff like that. Poetry. I know they do stand-up nights. They used to. It's crazy. Austin's Coffee. Like when I saw that post, I legitimately almost started crying. Not gonna lie. It was one of my first shows too. Austin's Coffee open mic.
Yeah, it was like, and the times I've gone there, it's like the people that work there are so nice, and like the people that go there, it's like you get to recognize faces, which is cool.
Yeah,
like it's that sitcom where like, oh hey buddy, you're here again, nice to see you.
Yeah.
And
regulars.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about losing a venue like that, or even just like a cultural thing. Like even if it wasn't, Orlando music scene related, it's just stuff like that happens all the time. Austin's Coffee is just one of a lot of travesties.
Hopefully it stays up. I see it's getting like actual news coverage now, which is really good.
Oh yeah?
Like Wesh 2 is gonna do some stuff on it, I guess. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No one wants to see it go. They really messed up on this one.
Yeah.
For real. Like
70 people at that town hall meeting or whatever. I didn't get to go in, but
I didn't see it or hear it. I know someone who was listening in on it, but I didn't get a chance.
yeah.
It's crazy. Hope you don't lose it. I'm gonna do my part. Been crazy video editing and photo editing and making sure this stuff is running and all that stuff. So it's been crazy. And like we talked about school, time management, by the way. How are you and your time management? How do you fare in that whole scary area?
Getting better, I think.
Yeah.
I need to get better at waking up early. I know that's such like the teen boy answer, but like I need to wake up earlier. But I think overall, in terms of the thing I need to find more time for is like promotion, like social media, that kind of thing. Because I get so wrapped up in school and then recording that I forget to promote the music that's out. So that's I gotta be better at that. But I think I mean, I'm not missing assignments in classes. That's good. And
that's good.
Getting songs in on the deadlines where I'm trying to get them in. So,
well, you can't go wrong there. I mean, you're doing good on paper. It always like time management. I thought I was good at it. It's one of those things that you think you're good at. You think you're good at, and then shit hits the fan, and you're not good at it. And you find out the hard way.
Can I swear on here? If
you can. If anything, I'll censor it. If not, then whatever. If it comes to mind, if it comes to mind,
poop.
You can go a little bit more graphic than that.
Butts.
That's not allowed. I should have been more specific.
Sorry.
The scope is like here, right? You took the scope out to back here.
I apologize. Marco is over party on Twitter.
We talk butts around here. We talk a lot of butts. Yeah, we're talking butts now.
Talk a lot of butts. This is like a conversation I'd have on Omegle.
On Omegle? Oh, is it Omegle?
It is Omegle. I just always pronounce it Omegle because I'm weird.
Oh, wow. I've never heard it like that.
Yeah, I don't know. The E placement just makes it seem like that to me.
What about the megalodon? Would you call it like a megalodon or,
fair point.
Megan? Maybe it should be Omegle.
Megan. Drinking
I'm
Josh.
just saying. If you want to talk Omegle, we could talk Omegle.
Oh,
I used to go on. Omegle is the. Do you used to spend long nights on Omegle as a kid?
So actually, that is one of my main sources of promo. Going back to that for a sec.
No way.
I like.
That's gorillas. That's so that's so underground, bro. That's hardcore stuff.
Yeah, I just remember seeing I don't even remember. So there's some YouTubers I watched that would go on it for like radio shows and stuff. And I was like, oh, this thing, like the chat roulette, whatever it's called thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I want to try this. It was Halloween. I was wearing some spooky makeup as you do on Halloween. I was like, okay, let me just go on here, sing some Shawn Mendes songs for people. And then, oh, my computer went down. Can you hear me still?
I can hear you.
Okay, that was weird.
Can you hear me? Was there a glitch in the Matrix?
Possibly. My computer slept and I don't know what happened. I guess because I wasn't moving my mouse.
Weird. Stupid computers.
Yeah, MacBook Pro, man. That's how it is.
I'm trying to upgrade.
Yeah, but I went on, I was singing songs to people, and then, at the end I'd be like, hey, I got some other stuff on, at the time it was just SoundCloud. And so hey, if you want to check out this song I released, here's my Instagram and all that kind of stuff. And I gained a couple 100 followers, which was good.
Off Omegle?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
When you're on there for 3 hours, you find some people.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of penises.
A lot of penises.
A lot of penises, but
yeah,
it's gotten better. I'll say past few times I've been on there, not as many.
The penis to follower ratio, how's it looking? Is it looking good?
It's looking better. It's looking better.
It's better. Do any of the penises end up following you, or is it just the people that don't show their penises?
I've actually, Not any penises, but every once in a while you'll get that thing of like the still image of like say, come to my website and I'm live streaming, explicit image. And
Yeah.
sometimes I use those as tuning stops just because I need
Yeah.
time to tune.
Oh, jeez. Omegle. Love it. I miss it. I need to get back on it. And you have inspired me. So
I hold no accountability for what you see.
I'm going to see a lot of messed up stuff. And it's going to keep me up late at night. And I'm going to blame it all on you, sir. So, influences.
Yes. Back to
List
music.
them off. I'm getting all sorts of stuff from you. I'm getting 1975. I'm getting some car seat headrests, especially now that you have mentioned you've been recording since you were like a wee lad. Car seat headrest. Shout out.
I need to listen to them.
And a little bit of Pale Waves. Pale Waves is essentially just like the female 1975 for me. I don't know how I found out.
So is that telling me you're getting that off Pretty Boy maybe? You went in.
Yeah, I went in. I went back. I saw the year-old posts, and I went back. Back when it was Halls with a Z, right?
Oh boy, yes. Yeah. So for me, influences. Well, like the first songs when I started playing guitar, I started playing when I was like 11, and the first riff I learned was "What Makes You Beautiful" by One Direction.
Hey, shout out.
As well as their first 2 albums in completion, deluxe tracks and all.
Whoa.
Yeah. I was an intense fan.
Could we get you to play their whole 2 albums right now? Could you do it if we asked you? I think I can hear the fans. I think I can hear them.
I don't have my guitar, but I have an electric in there.
Can you seriously play all 2 albums though? Can you still do it?
For the most part, I think I probably could. Maybe a couple tracks I'd be missing here and there. Not like the finger pick stuff. Like I probably couldn't play Summer Love very well. But, anything other than like the acoustic-y finger pick stuff, I could probably do for you.
Absolute stan over here. I'm going to bow down to a number 1 fan real quick. Yeah.
My Explore pages, all them.
100% One Direction.
100%. Harry, Louis, Zayn, all them. But, but for real, One Direction actually had a huge influence on me. And that kind of era of pop music, the kind of electro pop inspired, music that was happening then. I'm a huge pop punk fan. So especially, you'll probably hear that more in songs to come. But, I first, from One Direction, I got into 5 Seconds of Summer. And from 5 Seconds of Summer, they showed me bands like All Time Low, Blink-182, or All American Rejects, Boys Like Girls.
The good stuff.
The good stuff. And then all over the place from there. The 1975 are a big one, especially melodically. I love a lot of their music. And bands like electro pop acts like, say, Ready Set, or Only Child as he is now, or Richie Arthur and his several projects, whether that be States of Capitals, Pay, or I think he's cooking up something new now. But that type of production really, I take that in a lot when I'm producing synth parts. So like the sparkle parts, I call it, the glitter in a given song. And then I love kind of genre bending acts like Water Parks or Youngblood, that kind of thing.
So, do you have a particular like memory or anything, like a crazy concert that you went to when you were like 8 years old that you were just like, I'm going to get Garageband and start making music? Do you have that sort of like burst of inspiration from anyone or no?
Dude, when I was 8, I saw Sesame Street live and I saw Bert and Ernie playing the tunes. I was like, let's make some music. No, but but for real, I talk about this quite a lot recently, but a moment that I remember is right after seeing, there's a lot, but after seeing Camp Rock. I always knew I wanted to be a musician and stuff. And so I saw Camp Rock and, the Jonas Brothers played, Play My Music. I was like, whoa, they're jumping and playing guitar at the same time. That's so cool. And I was like, okay, now I know I want to play shows. Right after that aired, the music video for Hold On came on. You know the song we're talking about? The one where they're in a really windy house.
No, gonna be real.
If you look up the Jonas Brothers, look up Hold On, underrated song. But
Underrated.
right, I saw it and I was like, I want to sing in a windy house like Joe Jonas. I need to do this now. And from then, my dad would let me go on the Mac and try to make songs and stuff. And then, write some very not great songs when I was 9 years old. And then around the time, like I said, when I was 12, 13, I started getting into 5 Seconds of Summer, which, as weird as it may sound, since they, as opposed to One Direction or Bieber or whatever I was listening to before, since they were more of like a traditional band and format, it was much easier for me to pick apart the different parts they were playing and then start producing and composing. So, I would make covers of their songs and then start to form my own.
That's pretty interesting. I saw that you had been posting a lot of covers before you released any new music as Halls with a Z. So how long were you doing covers and stuff since I guess the beginning, but when did you when did you make that decision to finally start seriously writing your own stuff, and were pleased with the results?
I'd say in 2015, under my actual name, I released an EP called, you can't find it anymore. I may send you an unlisted YouTube link to one of the songs later. But I released an EP I made completely on GarageBand called No More, an EP and single. And that was like the first time I was like, oh, I'm producing the music. I'm writing the music. I'm doing this all. It sounded shit. But the songwriting wasn't horrible, but it was like, I just didn't know how anything worked. So it didn't sound good. But I produced it all and I released it in middle school. And, I had my friends who would like it, leave reviews and stuff, and tried playing some shows. But due to, this can be a topic we get into in a sec, but due to a lot of health issues, I've kind of been on and off in my activity.
Mm-hmm.
So I played a couple open mics here and there. And then from there, I just kept writing songs. And then 2020 was like, okay. Well, in 2018, I was in that band I was talking about. We were called Untaken.
Yeah.
Released a song that I had written called Posies. Played a show at a library. Pretty punk rock.
Yep. Breaking all of the rules. Yeah.
Shout out Melrose Center. And then,
did you have drums in there? Were there drums in a library?
Oh my God, no. We were offered them, but here's the thing. We couldn't find a drummer to save our lives.
They're hard. They're hard to come
Right.
by.
So like in the recordings and stuff, I would play the drums and, that worked out fine. But when we were live, it was like, crap, we need a drummer. Okay. So we auditioned like 3 people and, one just didn't really know how to play drums that well. One said he was moving, but he never moved, but we thought he was moving, so he didn't play with us.
Yeah.
One we just didn't really get along with, but he was actually a pretty good drummer. And so I recorded drum tracks and we had them on playback. I had to record the count in like, and it worked.
We've all been there.
The gig wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm. And this was at the Melrose Center, you said?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, but we released the song and played a show. And then we broke up directly after the show.
And what caused that, might I ask?
Well, I kind of knew we were breaking up before, but it was long story short, the other 2 guys went on to make what would become Not.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't anything drama or whatever, but, I wanted to make slightly poppier music. They wanted to make punkier music.
Yeah.
And eventually, Travis, who was our guitarist, now False, split off and started doing False stuff. But, yeah, it's cool. We all support each other.
Yeah. I ran into the same issue with like my first high school band, I was in a pop rock band, and I had just discovered the Pixies. That's right. I was getting into the Pixies. I was getting into stuff like the Smiths. Wanted to get a little bit harder. Didn't really fly so well because I was odd man out. I joined a little late. I was not in on the ground floor, so that singer was like, "Get the hell out of here with those crazy satanic ideas." And I was like, "All right, I'll go play Sex Pistols in my room by myself then."
It wasn't quite that dramatic for us, but it's something like that. But I guess the other way around for me, because in this case, I was more the odd man out.
Yeah.
Travis and I share similar influences, but David and I, we were kind of heads of the band, just kind of had different places we wanted to go musically.
Yeah, it's when you're listening to like 5 minutes of solid noise off of a Sonic Youth album released in like '87. They don't want to hang out with you so much. When they're listening to Ed Sheeran, it's a bit of a I guess a cultural gap. I don't know how to describe it, but there was a bit of drama. I could proudly say I've been in some band drama. I got kicked out of the band.
The drama.
There was a whole story. Yeah,
were you subtweeting each other?
No. Nothing too crazy, but we were just teenage boys being teenage boys. We all had egos. You develop and you learn how to work better with others. So have you worked with anybody else, by the way? I know we touched on like collaborating, but we never really went into it. Have you worked with any other like local Central Florida musicians around here or acts? Have you featured on anything?
I've yet to feature on anything, but I did co-write. Nico the First. Right, Nico the First has a song on SoundCloud called V12, which I co-wrote with him, and I also produced the track. It's a very rough demo we put together, but it's kind of this rock rap fusion that we were really excited about at the time. I've written some with Ashley Bacanza as well, though I don't think she's released a song. Yeah, that, and always trying to put together different collaborations with people. Like Blaine from Chelsea Garden and I were meant to do some collaboration, but it kind of fell through just because of scheduling.
I want to say we were supposed to play a show with them literally right before COVID shut everything down. And yeah, I've heard of them. I figured maybe you would have been collabing with people like Headband or even Charlene Joan. They've got kind of like the same vibe, acoustic-y, poppy. They could play some electric guitar, so you'd fit right in the pocket. I was curious to see if maybe you had linked up with anyone yet, since you'd been trying to focus more on like getting into the scene and stuff.
Yeah, I will say I've been trying to do a little bit of a video collaboration with Amani from Not, their drummer.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to do a little something with Say Your Name, which should be fun.
Very cool. You're gonna shoot like a little music video or something?
Yeah, just like a little performance thing. Nothing big. It's meant to be like a 30-second thing where he puts his insane drumming on it, and I'm really excited for it.
Blast beats and everything, the whole lot.
He is honestly one of the best. I would call him the best drummer in Florida.
Oh yeah? Okay. All right. Oh shit.
Amani Drums, plug.
Amani Drums. Amani Drums. Check it out. The best Florida drummer.
He got comments from Travis Barker and the drummer from A Day to Remember that I can't even remember his name.
That's crazy. Day to Remember. Aren't they like from Florida?
Yeah. They're from, I want to say Jacksonville, but I think I'm wrong with that.
Everything good comes out of Jacksonville.
There's a band called Palm Trees and Power Lines I liked from Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah?
They broke up now.
I hate when a good band breaks up. It's so sad. No more music.
Their singer actually auditioned for Makeout, I remember, which is a band. They're like a pop punk band that got kind of big.
Yeah.
But he didn't end up in the band. But it was like, oh wait, I remember you from that other band.
Yeah. I went through a bit of a pop punk phase, and that was Green Day's Dookie, and then Green Day's American Idiot. Never really made the jump into Blink 182. I heard kids bumping it like at high school and stuff like that, but nothing like
The
that did it, like-
Untitled record, top 5 records of all
of
time.
all
for me.
time.
Yeah.
You have a list? Do you have a list prepared for us? Can you hook us up?
Oh,
Top
I should have
five?
said it now. In
You have
terms of, sorry,
No. I'm waiting. I'm waiting right now.
in no particular order. For me personally, just things that influenced me a lot. I won't say,
Yeah,
it's the best records of all time, because even some of the albums I'm going to say are not what I think the best album from this artist is. But Take Me Home by One Direction. It's their second album. It's got hella clean production, great songs all around. Every song on that album was good enough to be a single. Untitled record, Blink-182, was divisive when it came out, but I think the defining album for them, and also I just think it's such a really well put together, cohesive album. You got the pop punk thing, you got the post-hardcore influences, emo influences, so it's really sick. Sounds good, feels good, 5 Seconds of Summer. Kind of what was my proper gateway into like actual pop punk. Because their first album was more poppy or whatever, and it was like, oh, they're just a boy band. But that, and not album, but EP. V1 by the Ready Set. I mentioned him before. Jordan is amazing, and I love him with all my heart. Just really nice songs. That's all I can say about it. Really
Just
nice
clean
songs.
stuff.
Just good stuff. And then I don't know about a fifth one. I don't know. Fandom by Water Parks.
Oh yeah.
Once again, a really good cohesive piece of work, but so varied. Like I said, I love how they are, they go from a hard rock track to a hip hop track in one song. And that's kind of what I want to emulate. So more recent, but yeah.
You ever listen to the recordings of a little band called Limp Bizkit?
I have a little bit. New metal was never really my thing, but
No.
yeah, but I appreciate it.
It was certainly a step.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say in what direction because I don't know what step it took us in or what direction, but
You know that people are calling that a new punk. Some people are calling like the rappers that are going pop punk.
like new punk.
Right. Like I guess the Machine Gun Kelly or Ian Dior thing. I had heard it. So I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. In my eyes, that's just a pop punk song. But
Yeah. Yeah, I heard a little bit of a theory that like trap is kind of like the new punk. It's like the cultural up yours to all the old heads. It's nothing like classic hip hop, but it's still hip hop. And it pisses all the old people off. So it checks the list of punk down to the last box.
gatekeeping is so bad because a lot of people I know that what you just said is kind of a controversial thing, but I totally agree with you in that sense of hip hop in general is always kind of like a counter movement in itself, so I kind of classify it in there. But especially even within that type of thing, people are trying to say, wait, my thing closed again. You're saying that, wait, your music doesn't have guitars? That's not punk. You don't have total political songs and sometimes sing about relationships? That's not punk. It's like the whole point of punk or alternative, whatever you want to call it, is going against what is the norm, even if it's what's the norm within its own thing.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Gatekeeping's stupid.
Yeah, gatekeeping is stupid. Screw all the gatekeepers. Punk really is like, it's more of an aesthetic. It's more of an approach. It's an emotional thing. It's an idea. It's a culture. It's not so much a genre of music with, like you said, like it's gotta have this, it's gotta have that. No, it's kind of just gotta have the vibe. And if it fits the vibe, it's punk, you know?
Right. And I don't
Anything really be punk.
yeah,
you
I
know?
don't necessarily like class myself in like, oh, punk whatever, cuz I don't know where I stand with any of that stuff, man. I just make music. So it's like, I don't know. People be happy with what you do.
Yeah.
That's the PSA from Sonic Calls. People be happy, do the damn thing.
Some people just can't be happy. I think I'm convinced that some people just cannot be happy. It's a very real thing. They will self-sabotage, they'll sabotage you, whatever it takes to be unhappy, they'll do it. Even if being happy is easier, even if being unhappy takes that much more effort, they'll do it. We've all been there, by the way. We go through funks. Don't pretend like you don't go through
Yeah,
funks.
dude, I have clinical depression and I don't mean to hide it.
Yeah.
That demo I was talking about is a song I wrote about when I was 15 about suicidal tendencies.
Mhm.
That got
It's
darker than I expected, but that's what it is.
and music's like a good channeling for that, honestly. Like you didn't mean for it to get that dark, but it's just what came out. That's what happened when you channeled. You needed to get it out, you know? That's kind of always been my perspective with music. It's kind of like an energy thing. It's kind of like a primal instinctual release kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you have plans to play live now that things are opening back up? I'm excited for the new music. I'm excited to hear what you've got coming in, or coming out rather. Are you trying to get back in?
Eventually. So, due to, I live with my grandmother. I have a lot of health issues that we can talk about in a sec, but essentially, right now, I don't feel comfortable playing, but eventually, of course. I was going to start playing shows that, like you said, I was actually going to play a show with Chelsea Garden as well.
Yeah.
We were meant to play Austin's Coffee, funnily enough, bringing it full circle, but
Oh my God.
yeah. But essentially, right now, I just don't feel safe doing it without, my grandmother got both her shots, which is good, and my parents are going in to get their second shot in the next few weeks, and hopefully I'll get vaccinated, then my little brother and all that kind of stuff, but it's just not the time yet. Hopefully soon, but not yet.
It's not in the cards for the near future, huh?
I know who I'm playing with though. Like,
Oh, yeah?
not
You got a
bands,
list,
but I got some musicians that'll help me out. Since obviously I'm only one person, I like to have some backup support live. I want to make it a fun rock show.
Yeah. You can play every instrument, but you can't play them at the same time. So
There you go.
it's hard. So what's been holding you back, if you don't mind my asking?
In what regard?
To playing live. Well, what are your concerns and stuff? Are you prone to like a weak immune system, or
Essentially, it's medical luck, I'll call it.
medical luck?
Put it this way. I've been in and out of music scenes because of a condition that I don't know what it is. There are other conditions that I got fixed that have made things much easier for me to play. But and now I can kind of consistently at least release music. But put it this way. Since I've lived in Florida, I've had 3 major surgeries. And I've only been here about 5 years.
Yeah, that's insane. I could honestly I can only imagine like the toll it takes on your body. I've known people personally, like my mom going through cancer, my girlfriend's brother having multiple open heart surgeries. It's a very intense thing, and to open up about it, it's hard. So
yeah, I'm pretty open book about it because it's just kind of part of my life, and I don't mean that in a depressing sense of like it's part of my life. I'm just saying like that is a thing that happened in my life.
Yeah.
And I will say, I want to tell a funny story because I don't want it to be too sad. But a couple years ago, I said I had 3 surgeries. One was a result of the other. So,
Wow.
yeah, I had a thing called MALS, which it's a complicated thing, but essentially I had, you know what ligaments are? I had
Mhm.
ligaments that were pulling my diaphragm too far down. So it hurt to literally do anything. And like,
Mhm.
you know, especially things that involve your diaphragm a lot, like singing.
Singing.
So, right. So, like, this is around the time I was in that band I was talking about. We would have to, like, stop practices because I, like, couldn't take it anymore. But I got the surgery to fix it and I got the ligaments disconnected. But then because we went to a kind of dog shit hospital, there's only, like, one surgeon. No, I don't want to say dog shit. It was just old. But
No, you can say dog shit. There's dog shit hospitals out there. You hear horror stories all the time.
yeah, but essentially there was only one surgeon who is amazing. This is nothing on the surgeon. He is amazing. But that can like do this surgery properly in the country. So we had to go to Connecticut and we had a choice between 2 hospitals. One was like newer, more pediatric and all that kind of stuff. And then the second was older, but it was closer to where we were staying. We decided, a little bit older, whatever. Go to the one closer. I have the surgery and, you know, I'm recovering great for like 4 days. And that's because they have me on that IV drip.
Yeah.
So I don't feel anything. The day they decide to take it out, I was like, okay, I'm probably going to feel kind of bad for a couple days. Withdrawals. It's fine. I wake up. Luckily, my parents were trading off who was staying with me. It was my dad that night. I wake up at 1 a.m. I like literally can't breathe. It hurts to breathe.
Yeah.
I got an infection that had collapsed my lung.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
What?
And we didn't know what it was for like 3 days. So, you know, they had me back on the drip or whatever. So I wasn't in pain. But I got like tachycardia. Like my heart rate went up to like 170 sleeping.
Jesus. That's insane.
This is all to say, because of all this stuff, and, you know, I had to get a second surgery and stuff and more scars, whatever. Because of all of this, painkillers, right? As you do. Now, the funny thing about painkillers is that sometimes they can make you see hallucinations.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to preface this is not an advocation. If you have problems, get help.
Get help. It's a very serious thing.
But one night we were back it was after I was home from the hospital. I had to wait a couple days because I had like staples or whatever. And
Very badass, by the way. Anybody who gets staples in them, no, that's
kid with
metal.
kid with an emo fringe and black nails and then he's got badass staples. But yeah, but The Office was on TV, right?
Yeah.
And I was watching The Office all day. Then I go to bed. I was in a bed and my parents were in a bed, you know, across the room. I start having a dream. I thought I was dreaming where, you know, the episode of The Office where it's like, them in the car and they're trying to like prank Jim's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay. So that episode had been on TV. And Jim is in the passenger seat saying, wait, someone made me a fake dating account. And wait, Michael, did you make me a fake dating account? Michael, who is behind the center console. Like, all I can say is that it wasn't me. I was like, okay, then it must have been Dwight. If it's Dwight, I'll let it slide because I pranked him many times. And we get back to the office and Jim faces up to Dwight and goes, I know what you did. Just know next time I'm going nuclear. Now, I thought this just as a weird dream. I come to find out, like 3 weeks later after we got home, that I was speaking as Jim the whole time.
No.
Michael, behind the center console, was my mom behind my dad. And I guess that would have made my dad Dwight, but he didn't say anything, so I don't know. So
That's insane.
yeah. Sorry for the tangent, but I thought that would be a funny story.
No, I mean, you had a lucid dream where you were Jim Halpert
Yeah.
talking to
I'm
your
not even
mom,
sure if I'd
who
call
was-
it. I'm not even
Michael
sure I'd
Scott.
call it lucid, but it was just, I don't know. And I felt so weird after I found out it wasn't necessarily a dream.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, okay, yeah. And then I stopped taking the painkillers.
And how was that process?
I mean, withdrawals felt kind of bad a little bit, and then, just kind of dealing with recovery after the surgeries. Going back to the serious bit, it was a long process.
Yeah. Well, you've come a long way. We have come a long way. You are working on new music, correct? You've got an album ready to go, or almost ready to go, rather.
Right, I'm working on an EP that'll hopefully be out towards the end of this year. Aside from that, I've got more singles. I can actually, I'll say this for your podcast, the news may be out by the time this comes out, but essentially my next single is going to be a song called Lemon Zest. Yeah. All I feel comfortable saying here is that if you remember Say Your Name or Pretty Boy or even Perfect Insomniac or anything, it is nothing like them.
Oh.
It is
Completely-
a big departure. Get ready to mosh.
Oh, okay. So the blast beats, you're bringing them in.
I could say breakdowns.
Okay. Halftime breakdown.
Emotionally.
Right on time. Well, I must say that I'm excited. I went into your music not really knowing what to expect. I was kind of a little blown away. I haven't heard anything like that really come out of the Orlando scene. I run with the punks, hang out with the bad boys and bad girls, all of them out there. We hang out, we do bad stuff because we're punks.
I should say your band is good as well.
Oh yeah, you checked us out, huh?
I checked you out a little bit. It was good. It was good.
Oh, so you did your own little bit of homework.
I gotta, man.
Got to know who you're talking to, I guess.
Mostly because I was scared that if I came on here, it was like you'd say, "Yeah, we're in a band too." I was like, "Oh yeah, cool," and you would say, "Well, yeah, you've heard of us? What's your favorite song?"
Oh, dude. Oh no, dude, I'd never ask that. I'd never do that to you. I'd never do that to you, buddy. Put you on the spot like that? Oh, you listen to me, huh? Wow. What's your favorite song, huh? I know all of them.
I can't remember all the names, but I like the ones I heard.
Well, that's good. That's all that matters. I'm the same way. I'm the worst with song titles. I know song albums. I know artists. But outside of like maybe 60 song titles, yeah, you lost me, kid. I don't know. Can't keep up. But I must say, like I said, I'm looking forward to hearing the new music stuff, especially if it's taking a complete different tonal shift. And I want to see you pull it off live. I want to see how you perform.
Yeah, I'm so
So-
excited. This song that's going to come out, Lemon Zest, is going to be, I am so excited to play it live. It's going to be so fun.
Well, we are all excited too. I'm not afraid to speak on behalf of the listeners and viewers. Until that day, though, I must say goodbye, and I will bid you farewell. Sonic Halls. Check him out. He's got some crazy stuff. Like I said, pretty unique sound coming out of the Orlando scene. So, with that, you are...
Sonic calls, goodbye.